Start video. Wow. Goes. Okay. Sit down. Okay. All right. Let me introduce myself since I'm very bad at introducing myself in the other videos. So today we are going to be painting a lovely picture, can you see it, of flowers in a vase with acrylic paint. So follow along and enjoy the process. Thanks. It still looks like it. Red smudge is. Pop this up somehow. So, find something to erase it. That's better. Okay, how's that? Besides that red smudge. Okay. All right. Good. You're good to go over here?
Good to go.
Water. Okay. So just because I already have this brown on my brush, we're going to start at the bottom with making the table. So we're just going to make it maybe about like an inch wide, since this canvas is a little bit smaller than I anticipated. We'll just make this maybe about 3/4 of an inch even. Well, let's just do an inch. So this is going to be our table where the vase is going to be resting. So for anybody watching at home or watching this later, if you don't have a brown, you can mix black with a little bit of orange, or you can mix all three of the primary colors together, red, yellow, and blue, and start off with equal parts, and then, you know, add a little bit more of one of the colors, a bit of brown. Or this table can just be any other color, really. It doesn't have to be like a wooden table. Yes. You good?
Good.
Okay. So for our background, on this picture, I have it like a peachy, very light kind of peachy creamy color. So we're gonna start off by mixing that color. So you could make peach just with your orange and your white, but I'm gonna throw in a little bit of this pink just to give it like a slight. Oh,
I don't have peach. I don't have white
oh, you don't have white?
or orange
Okay.
or
Here's the white. There's a little bit left. And then the orange is right there. Yeah, go. You get an extra tray too. And then mix. And I think I'm gonna grab a larger brush to put this clover. You can use a big brush too.
okay.
Yeah, you kind of have to like shake the white. Okay, so I'm gonna mix white. Some orange and some of this pink. It really, when you mix it, it really doesn't need very much orange to make it peach.
Okay,
So definitely more white than.
and you don't have any other white?
Mm, no, I think that's it. Do you want?
No, it's just,
That's blue.
Oh.
Really? There's nothing else. Let's see.
couldn't get it out,
Okay.
except for that one drop.
Oh. Not a big one, big two like that of white, but
Oh,
there you go.
there you go. Thank you. That's why it's easier.
All right. So with your peach color, you can add a little bit of water to this too and light water it down slightly because it's going to be easier to apply that way. Filling in the back. Just drip a little bit of water in here. Wrote my little smudge that I made. So if you don't have a canvas, and again, I'm going to be talking to the screen and you, so feel free to chime in whenever. Talking to the, I feel like I'm talking to somebody that may or may not be there. So anyway, just it's kind of weird. So if you want to paint on something and you don't have a canvas, you know, sometimes these canvases, especially if you're just practicing, can get a little bit expensive. So you could also buy some thicker paper, like an art supply store. Bristol paper will work for painting with acrylic. Anything that says like mixed media will most likely work for it. Just as long as it kind of holds up the paint. It can take a little bit of water, you know, the paper that you get should be able to take a little bit of water, absorb a little bit of water, but for the most part, it's just thick enough to hold up the paint, okay? They also sell pads of like canvas paper. That might be a good option too. But really acrylic, because it's based on plastic, it's a polymer base. It can paint on anything. You can paint on like fabric, any kind of other surface you might have that you want to paint.
Okay, I made mine a little darker
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
because the flowers I think will pop.
Yeah, the flowers are gonna cover a lot of this background area, so should be okay. Very right there. So hopefully if you know, we put a nice light coat on it, it'll dry pretty quickly, so we can kind of blow on it or shake it a little bit. And it's dry, but it doesn't have to be 100% dry for us to paint the next piece. Did you get different size brushes?
Yes, I did. A medium and two tiny.
Yes.
I learned yesterday that we need tiny.
Yeah, some little detail. So before we paint on it, just kind of take a look at it and let me show you guys this. Like, we want the vase to be smaller than the bouquet. So it's a little hard to tell in this picture, but the vase, you can kind of measure with your, on this here that, it's about this big. And so the flowers are way bigger than the vase. So when you're planning out your picture on the canvas, just imagine that, like, in here, it's going to be a smaller round, just so I can kind of see, okay, the round vase is going to be in here, and then the rest of it is going to be flowers. We don't want the vase to be the center of attention. We want the flowers to be the center of attention. So if you think of it in terms of breaking up the space, you could think of like 2/3 is the bouquet of flowers, and then 1/3 would be the size of the vase. Okay. Just so we're not making it too big. All right, and then I think on these flowers, I started off with the ones that kind of look like marigolds, the orange ones right here. So, and these are the trickiest ones to do. So we'll start with these. The biggest ones, so they'll tend to kind of draw a lot of attention. So, these are pretty, but it's just like little marks, like U marks, kind of wrapping around a central point. So I'll just show you guys what that looks like. So you're gonna dip into your orange, and if your vase is here, then we can put this flower as like the first flower in this vase. Okay. I'll make my vase just a little darker, just so you can see kind of where it's gonna go. Like if this is the line for the vase, just so you can see it on the screen. Okay, but we don't have to draw it right now. So this is going to start off with the first flower. You can just start by making almost like little commas. You can kind of start with 3 little ones or 2 little ones even, and then you just start building around them. And they don't necessarily have to touch. They can be separate because we'll add a little bit of yellow anyway. So we're just starting off by making these little commas. Around the middle part. Okay. And the size of this is kind of like, imagine like a medium-sized cookie. I always compare things to cookies. I was like, this one's like an Oreo, and this one's like a large oatmeal cookie. So not the size of an Oreo, definitely bigger, bigger than that. And also you can make your petals wider. So like dab the brush down a little bit more. You see, maybe the glare is a little bit off. There we go. You can kind of see it better. It already seems like it's yellow on here, but I didn't even add any yellow yet. Probably just the fluorescent lighting in here. Prop it up against the wall. Okay. Let me see. Thicker. Yeah, that works. So we're gonna wait for that to dry and then we'll add some yellow on top of it. So I would try to starting off by just working in threes. So 3 like of each flower. And then after that, we can kind of see where else we might need some more. Okay. So if one's here, think of making like a triangle of flowers, right? So we're gonna work our way up. Maybe over here is gonna start the next one. You need some more orange?
Yes.
And then up here would be the other one. Yeah, just shake it down a little first and then it'll come out easier. Oh, you're like me today. There you go. I'll tell you, it's something in the air. Just made everything clumsy today. On the chair.
I don't think the colors on the
I
chair.
have a little piece of ink in here. Okay.
I think I need to wash this.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Okay. So if this brush is like, I don't know, a small brush, so think of the size of like a pinky, pretty small, but not tiny, not like a tiny detail brush, like this one. That'll make it easier to make these marks. I wish more people would come online. Well, we're doing the class, at least we would have some people here. I wouldn't be talking to the just. And take your time on it, there's no rush. It's not like we have anybody else waiting. I feel like I can kind of see the whole thing. How are we doing? Oh, yes. Maybe add one more petal on that one on the right. Yeah,
Oh,
it feels like it. It's a little gap right there. Okay, hopefully as this dries, the glare will go down a little. The background's so glossy. Okay. So we'll leave those alone to dry, and then we're gonna go on and do one of the other ones. So actually, you know what? Why don't we just put in the vase just because, you know,
It's there.
it's already there. So I'm gonna use a light blue. So we don't have another lighter blue. Maybe we need a lighter one work better since it's white. Let's use. Very light blue. This, oh, wait. It's like a sky blue. So this is gonna be like the glass vase. So just make the sides. Kind of make it like a circle or like an oval. And we can put a little bit of like a reflection. And then it's gonna have like a little base in it. So round on the bottom. So the bottom is rounded, the little stand that's gonna have on it is rounded, and then we can just connect it into the sides here. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move on to a different flower here. Let's do, I'm gonna do some of the big flowers that kind of look like, what are those? What could those be called? Maybe like poppies? They're just kind of like big rounded petals. So I'm gonna make mine blue. Okay, so for this, you really want to use like maybe like a medium-sized brush, and you can just start making the petals just with little dabs, and just kind of spreading it a little. Okay, so we just kind of use the brush and just kind of widen it at the top. Dab. And kind of widen it a little, or even the other way. Something like that. These could be a little bit smaller than those big orange ones. And again, just kind of working in threes. So, all right, this one can be up here in between these two. Here. that. Use another petal in here somewhere. Yeah, just go ahead and just press the brush completely down to the canvas and kind of think of using the shape of the brush as like the shape of the petal, you know? Or even if you do need to just kind of draw it out on there, you can like.
This is a different variety than yours.
Oh, okay, that's fine. It still looks good. So maybe I'll make another one. Maybe this one's gonna be like a sideways flower. So maybe I'll make one kind of come in as if we can just see kind of the side of it, so. Okay, so there's some blue ones. What else? What's another color? Maybe I'll do the big daisies red this time, just so they really show up. Well, let's fill in the center of this blue. Maybe I'll make it yellow. Putting in little dabs, maybe a little bit of yellow and green. Really, I think I'm gonna make those daisies like this pink color instead of red.
Of course.
Did you already do some red or no?
No,
Okay.
I don't have any red.
Okay, so I'll just use this pink color. So for these, it's actually kind of like the ones you made already, Lisa. So a little bit longer petals, kind of going around a central point. So you can start actually kind of with like maybe 3 different directions, so you know where the center is. And you can just start kind of bringing it in. This color kind of works. Good. There we go. It's kind of like a purplish pink. And you can start overlapping, you know, if they're touching the other flowers, that's fine. Oh, I've got some red in there. Oops. There's one. And maybe there's 2 and 3. So make the 3rd one over here. So you can work from the outside in or the inner part of the flower outward. Whatever kind of works with your stroke. I'm gonna throw one over here just to fill in this corner. Does it have a middle? Middle got lost. Okay. for the middle of these, I think I'm gonna put some, like a dark color, like this dark brown, and then maybe later I can add some little sprinkle of another lighter color in there, or maybe I can just leave it dark. Just to give it some contrast. I don't know what kind of flowers these are, but I'm sure there's something in nature that looks like it or looks close enough.
Right.
All right, so we do want to have, a little bit of room still in between the flowers. That's why I'm kind of recommending just doing sets of 3 to start off. And that way we know we have enough room for a few different kinds of flowers, at least 3 different kinds. Even if we just wanted to continue and fill this in with the same kind that we've already made, that's fine. It would still look good, but if you're picking colors, I would recommend doing like a warm color, like oranges, yellows, reds, and then a cool color like blue, purple, green, right? But I'm gonna throw in one more flower here just for good measure. And with this, I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. So I'm just gonna get a brush that's slightly smaller. Doesn't have to be tiny. Maybe I will just use this one. Since it already has some red on there. And I'm just gonna make this like small little flowers, like little red flowers. Weird, okay. You need some red?
Yes, please.
You can kind of figure out how many you want to make in there. I'm just kind of sprinkling them around. And then if you feel like you have enough space to put some more flowers like the ones you made, you can do that. So I kind of feel like in here it needs some more orange. So maybe I'll just make like part of this orange flower as if it's behind these red ones. Just sticking in the side there. There. And maybe I'll throw in one of these purple ones. Kind of like I did that one, like kind of sticking up at the top. As if we can just see maybe a part of this flower. Okay, let's see, we need some more green, so let's throw in some leaves. Leaves can go pretty much anywhere in between the flowers, so I'm gonna start off with some of the regular green color, like the one that's darker than that lime green. And I'm gonna just kind of make some leaf shapes and just different sizes. I'm fine. So let's just start with some big ones and try to get the big ones in here somewhere. So it's kind of overlapping some of the petals. Just wherever it kind of like feels like there's room for a leaf. There's one kind of sticking out right there. What else? Oops, let's move that one. Okay. There's a bunch of green leaves. And then you can do this while it's wet or while it's dry. Kind of like to just add a little bit of like, a little bit of the light green in there, at least on some of them. You don't have to do every little detail, but just, I'm just adding a little bit, a swoosh of this lighter green. And then of course you can also add just leaves just with the light green. Maybe these are going to be small little leaves.
I think I left too much space in the
Oh, do you need some more flowers?
overall picture.
Let me see. Okay, so I think what you could do is the purple flowers or these pink ones, make those with more petals in it and a little bit longer on the ones that are small.
Oh, okay,
That way those kind of expand and fill in some of those spaces.
okay. Because I didn't leave enough space to put flowers,
Yeah, I see.
you know, but
And then when we add the yellow too, it'll help fill in the orange ones as well. So you're still good. Okay, there we go. Looks a little better without all the glare. Let me see if I can tilt the camera to reduce the glare. There we go. A little better. Okay. Okay, now.
you can just carry on.
So there's different size and shapes of brushes. I'm just talking just because we're taking a little break here in person. But you know, if you're going to the store and you want to buy some brushes to paint with at home, I'll show you some different shapes that you can get. We have a couple of them here. So we have, this one is the one that I like to use the most for painting. This one's a little warped, but it's a filbert. It's very much like a rounded finger. It's kind of like squared off at the top and kind of pointed. So that's going to be pretty versatile for you to do petals, to do straight skinny lines if you rotate the brush kind of sideways. And then also a little bit wider lines if you use it flat. Let me see if I can find a bigger one. Yeah, so like, you know, this would be considered a filbert. You can use that. You can get that shape. You might want to get like a big brush, something like this. Pretty cheap. It should just be a couple bucks to do some larger areas. You can do an angled brush like this one. Okay, great for edges. A pointed round is gonna just be a very thin, kind of pointy brush. And those come in very large shapes. You can also get a nice fan brush. And then as far as like the materials go of the brushes, I would say kind of as a general rule of thumb that the more expensive the brushes that you can afford, try to get those. But for acrylic, it's very easy to use any kind of brush. You don't really need to get the fancy ones, but if you see some ones that say specifically for acrylic and they're maybe $4 or $5 a piece instead of like just like $1 for a whole package, then you probably those are probably a safe bet to get. Let me see if I can find anything else. And then of course we still have the flat brush as well. This one's a little bit angled. I'm trying to find a flat one for you. This would be a flat one. Okay, so those are the different shapes you can get, or some of the different shapes. And then if you use a nylon brush, that's fine. If you get an animal hair brush, that would be even better. They just require a little bit of care. If you're painting with acrylic and you leave the paint on the brush, it is going to completely dry on there and ruin the brush. So just make sure you rinse out your brushes very well, or you leave them in water if you're painting, so they don't get messed up. Okay. And let's see, what else can I share? Next time we're going to be doing the Under the Sea painting. So if you want to join on Zoom for that, that's going to be next Wednesday. And then next month, we have a couple classes coming up. Well, lots of classes, but the ones with me are going to be the bookmaking class, which is a great one to do in person since I provide a lot of materials. We're going to do another acrylic painting class, but I haven't decided what it's going to be. And we're going to do a paint pour class. And the last one is going to be, paper bead making. So basically making kind of some fun jewelry, and I'll show you a method of making beads out of paper that can be used or made with recycled materials. Okay, so I'm just going in here while I'm waiting for Elise to come back, just touching up some of these leaves. Some of this paint, the acrylic paint, takes maybe a couple layers to make it look, right. So you might want to go back in and touch up some of your flowers in here if you need some time to do that. Maybe in here I'll add some orange. Got a little bit smushed in here. Maybe I'll make it a little bigger. There we go. This one looks kind of scratchy, so I'm just going to paint over that orange a little. Clean that up. And maybe just to make it look a little bit more even before I put the yellow on. There we go. A little bit more even, not so transparent. Your brush just kind of wiped off some of the paint. Okay. See, a bit tricky with the glare. Oh, there we go. That kind of helps reduce. This is very light, and this is a little bit darker, so it kind of helps cut down on the extra glare. Okay. I think there's room for another leaf over here. A couple leaves. bit of sauce in this flour. Just to give it some texture. Hello.
Hi there.
Okay, now I'm not talking to myself. Okay. So I was just touching things up while you were gone. What are you working on right now? The pink flowers?
The green leaves.
Oh, the leaves. Okay. All right. Just so I know. Oh, since you're ordering the leaves, you can also do the stems at the same time. So
Oh, okay.
You can just kind of bring a few of these stems as if they're coming in, maybe some a little bit thicker. I think that would be like a lot. Go in there. This one seems like a much faster one, huh?
It does.
Yeah. Okay, so for the orange ones, we're just gonna add yellow, kind of like overlapping the little petals that we made, but it's okay if we show like we still have some orange wet there because we can let it kind of blend together. So it's almost like the marigolds are like creating these different colors in here. If they're completely dry, that's fine, but you just kind of blend some of this yellow and try to kind of go into the little gaps in between the petals. Something like that. That's going to give them a little bit of like a highlight. So just kind of not covering the orange completely, just kind of going a little bit below it or inside. There we go. Something like that. If it's feeling like it's so cramped in there, don't worry about making every single orange petal match with the yellow. Just kind of fill in wherever you feel like it'll work. So we're gonna just use the last of this white to make the glass on the vase. I'll use a little bit and I'll make sure to leave some for you because we're running low. So just gonna kind of like outlining it a little bit. You can still show the blue. White, you can just use whatever's left in that bottle. Oh, that's great.
Mm,
I like it. Let me see.
the shading on the leaves, the leaf shapes aren't correct. Like this one, okay, and these maybe.
Yeah, those are fine. So I would say let's just add a couple petals on this one. So in here, this is kind of like one giant petal, so let's pretend it's like two stuck together.
Okay,
So we can just fill in some of this.
right.
And then this one has very few, so let's add some more.
Also, the fact that it has a square leaf or a square,
Yeah, that'll, yeah, we can just kind of like fill it in.
okay.
Yeah, so just kind of do the same thing with the other ones to fill in those, and I think that'll help. Make it all fit in there.
Okay.
I kind of like the purple table.
Oh, do you?
Yours, yeah. Yeah, I love my purple. Okay. All right, let's try to zoom out a little bit on this. I think I should put some light blue in here and white. And that little section pop a little more. Okay, so you could try doing it with these colors. You can change the colors that are in here. You don't have to make it blue and brown in there in the middle. Okay. So that is our vase, and then I never tell you guys to sign your work, so maybe you should sign it. Let's see. Signature. A little blue down here. Then you can sell it for however much you feel. I think I'm gonna start recording since I'm done with this one, but you have plenty of time to finish if you need to. Okay. Thank you, everybody watching.